Greetings, this is Tier Nerd, and I will be continuing my series on Fire Emblem Stats Linear Regression. This is going to be part 5. We're going to be wrapping this up. So all I have left is to correlate constitution with movement and level, and then then movement with level. So we're almost done. Then after that, I'm going to do a few things where I summarize, and we'll do that. So constitution. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna paste our constitution values on the X value, and then we're gonna put a level. So I'm gonna try to see if constitution and level correlate. I do not expect constitution and level to correlate at all, but out of curiosity, this would be pretty interesting. And then after we're done, there isn't much to do left. I'm gonna try to do a few more things just for fun, out of it, just to experiment, and that'll be it. So let's see constitution and level. Let's see how well they correlate. So if you don't know what's going on, then you might want to watch some of the earlier videos. But I'm basically trying to see if there's relationships between various stats using Fire Emblem 6 characters. So let's see constitution and level. So if you multiply your constitution by 0.67 and add about 5, you would get the average level. Obviously, that doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, we're pretty much all over the map here. Some are close to the line, some are like way out there. Like I bet Yodel and Nime, Nime for Constitution level 38. That's level 18 promoted. That would be Yodel with 6 Constitution, level 20 promoted. Somebody with 9 Constitution and level 39, so that 19 promoted. So that's Corel probably. Yeah, I think that's Corel. So yeah, obviously this is way all over the map. We have like 21% relationship. Yeah, so very weak. We have about a 21% correlation between X and Y. So yeah, I think it's safe to say constitution and level don't really correlate at all. So it's actually not the worst relationship we've seen, but I think the worst was like 2% between speed and constitution. But yeah, 21% right here. So not particularly strong between constitution and level. I mean, it is kind of an odd thing to do. Now let's see constitution and move. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen when I try to do constitution with move. So if we do constitution with move, so constitution's on the left, and then here on the Y variable, we're going to put in movement values. This one should come out very peculiar. So yeah, down here we have the 4 constitution, the knights, the 5 constitution, regular characters, and then the 5 movement, 4 movement. 5. Yeah, so the knights have high constitution. That makes sense. Someone has 10. Is that Wendy? 14, 16. Barth has 16. I bet Boris has 14. Boris has 14 constitution. Yeah, Boris has 14 constitution. So Wendy has like 10. I mean, it's pretty big for a girl. So I think Vita might be like one of the biggest. She has I forget if she has like 11 or 12 constitution. Like most Fire Emblem females, it's like 5 or 6. It's sometimes 4. So here, pretty... Yeah, 5. So there's a lot of difference here. 6 is seems like that's about average. Wow, very weak correlation here between constitution move. In fact, it's inverted. 6 is the average move, I guess, and then minus about 1% for every single point of movement. Wait. Oh wait, this is constitution. Yeah, constitution. So yeah, 6 subtract about 1% for every point of constitution. Obviously, this means almost nothing. All this means is the average character has about 6 movement. So this is actually negative. We have our third negative correlation here. So on average, higher movement is actually lower constitution on average, but the relationship is very weak, very, very, very weak. Weakest one yet. So about 6, 7, 8. So yeah, it's all over the map. Yeah, our relationship is like awful. Like, what is this? Negative 0.04393. So that's about that's 4%. Okay, so it's not the absolute worst. Speed and Constitution, it was like negative 2%. This is negative 4%. So yeah, it's quite weak. This is so not like this is the second weakest relationship between stats. So Constitution, it just does not correlate with certain stats very well, like speed and movement and like resistance. There's just some stats that Constitution has like no relationship with at all. Especially given that I'm using base stats, so that's going to create even more oddities in the data. So yeah, this is it's just it's kind of interesting. So this is our third negative relationship that we found. Yeah, so Constitution and movement do not correlate pretty much at all, like negative 4%. So yeah, right there. So that's why the line's kind of flat, and it's a it's a very small negative slope. Yeah, so that leaves us with just one more Constitution move. So our very last one, I'm gonna take movement, and I'm gonna correlate it with level. So movement, I'm gonna put movement here. Now, just out of curiosity, like this is movement and movement. If you correlate the same stat with each other, like this is just a joke. You're going to get itself. Basically, you're just going to get a perfect correlation of 100%, because I literally just put the same thing in for both. So obviously, you're not going to get anything interesting. So movement on the left, on the right, I'm going to put level. I'm going to see if level and movement correlate. Yeah. So like a lot of these relationships that I do, like they're not gonna. I don't expect them to work. This is more out of just curiosity. So movement here, level here. We'll see what happens. Wow, this is very odd. Yeah, okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, 4 movement, 5 movement, 6 movement, 7 movement, 8 movement. Yeah, that's why it looks like this. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you multiply your movement by 3.9 and subtract about 12 or 13, you would get the average level. So 8 movement characters join you at level like 30, let's see, 32, 31 minus 12, 13, 18. 8 movement characters join you at an average of level 18. Oh well. So yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, this is very we're the oddest graph yet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is movement correlating with level. So you can find out the level of all the characters that join you with 8 movement, and all that. So the knights join you at very low levels. I don't know. I feel like there is a correlation, because the higher movement units join you later. They're like Diane and Juno and all that. So it's actually not as bad as you would think. It's like 39%. 39% correlation between movement and level. This is not the worst. I mean, it's not great, but there's definitely been correlations that are worse. So the level and movement, I guess, have a little bit in common, because your higher movement units are promoted generally, and you get them maybe later in the game. So there's something small going on there. And your knights, they start off at a low level and they have like 4 movement. So it's a weak relationship, but there's something. So 39% is the relationship between movement and level. So that ends pretty much every relationship I've done. So we've done a total of 45 correlations between all the videos so far. I'm going to compile all the data and just write down like what were the best and what were the worst, basically. What were the best and worst relationships. And also, I think I have some other ideas, like maybe talking about like what is the average Fire Emblem unit, like what's the statistically average Fire Emblem unit? Maybe removing like Elfin and Lalum and like Merlinus, and just seeing like, well, what is the statistical average, basically. Yeah, so I thought that would be kind of interesting, maybe. Also, Yeah, something I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna kind of rearrange the data. What I want to do is actually divide up the strength and magic units. So I'm gonna divide the physical attackers from the mages, and I'm gonna probably run a few correlations like that. I just want to see if there is anything, some discrepancies, because earlier, I combined strength and magic into one thing, and obviously that caused some discrepancy with some correlations because strength and magic were like together. So I just want to see if there's some correlations might be better if you did separate the physical attackers from the mages. So I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna try to do that, and then I'll probably spend the rest of the video on that. Greetings, this is Tier Nerd, and I am going to continue this video. Wait 1 second. Yep, okay, we're ready. So so what I did here was I divided it up into 2 sections. The physical attackers are on top. I also removed Elfin and Lalum because they don't really, they're not really, they're not fighters. They don't do a lot of damage, and they're because of that, their strength and their skill stats are kind of skewed. And then here I have the mages. So we have 40 physical attackers in the game and 11 mages. So yeah, the physical attackers, vastly outnumber the mages. And I left in Fa because her stats seem decent. It's just base stats. She is a growth unit, but I did actually leave her in, despite her ridiculously low constitution of 1 for some reason. Yeah. So interesting. The average stats got adjusted. So it's kind of interesting to see like the differences. Like the average physical unit joins at level 10, and the average mage joins at level 12. Interesting. The HP of the average physical unit that joins you has 29, whereas for the mage it's like 21 or 22. So mages obviously have a lot less HP when they join you, and this is still taking into account the units that join you later in the game, like Nime and Yodel. Let's see. Here we have then we have the strength. So strength, the average strength is 10 of the unit that joins you. For mages, it's closer to 9. So units have low like enemies have low resistance. So yeah, it makes sense that mages generally start off a little weaker. And this includes your priests. Actually, this includes Ellen and Saul, who generally don't really attack, have very low magic when they join you, and Clarine, yeah, her as well. Yeah, some people have really low magic. Like even Cecilia has like 11. Ray has like 12. Even Hugh only has like 13. Yeah, they all start kind of low, except Nime and Yodel, who have ridiculously high magic. Then we have skill. 10 skill for physical attackers, only about 8 or 8.5 or so for your mages. So your attackers are a little more accurate. Then you have speed. Speed is about 10 or 11. It's pretty good. Your physical attackers have decent speed, close to 11. Whereas your mages are a bit slower, about 9 or so for your mages. Luck is about the same. Your attacker is about 7.4. Your mage is about 7.45. So your mages are a little luckier, slightly. Not much of a difference, but just a small amount. Oh, so I mean these are averages, so they're sensitive to outliers. It's not the median. The median wouldn't be sensitive to outliers. Now it's defense. So 8 defense for your attackers, not bad. Really low defense for your mages. Your mages have like less than 4 defense. So your physical, this is the biggest difference. Your attackers are going to have way more defense, obviously, about 8 defense, and then your mages have about 3 or 4. And then we have resistance, even bigger difference here actually. Your attackers have your physical attackers have about 3 or 4 resistance on average, whereas your mages join with like 10. Now that's mostly because of Yodel and Nime. If you don't count Yodel and Nime, it would probably be a lot lower. You're looking at the median, but still, obviously there's still a difference. Your mages are going to have higher resistance. Like if you look at your mages' resistance stats, 6 and 5 and 7, even the ones at the beginning of the game have like decent resistance, whereas the characters that join you at the beginning of the game have awful resistance, like 0 and 1, and except like Marcus has like 8. But yeah, a lot of your physical attackers have like almost no resistance, which is why Percival's really good, because Percival ends up with like 13 resistance, which is really good for a physical unit. And then Ryodel's got like 30. And then here we have Constitution. Once again, big difference. Your physical attackers are going to have like 9 Constitution on average. So like a Cavalier, average Cavalier. Whereas your mages, it's like not even 5. It's like really low. Yeah. So your obviously your mages are smaller. Tomes are very light though, so that doesn't really affect them too much. Average move is about 6, a little over 6 for your attackers. And then for your mages, it's about 5.6. So your mages are a little slower because you know for you have a lot of like promoted units that are like Cavaliers. I mean you have like high movement units like Cavaliers, Flyers, and you have Paladins. So they're gonna have like 7-8 movement. Whereas for the mages, you don't really have that. You have like 5 and 6 movement units that join you. The only ones that are fast are actually Clarine and Cecilia. That have that are on a horse. You have a lot more units on horses and wyverns, obviously, that are higher movement for your physical attackers. So mages are a bit slower. So anyway, yeah, this is kind of to be expected. So that where the differences lie. There's so much you could do, different correlations, like different comparisons. But this is just something I wanted to throw in there. Now, I mostly did this because I wanted to differentiate strength and magic. So let's see how well, I don't know if I'll put this in the final analysis, but I just want to see like some differences. Like we can correlate strength and level. So this is going to be just strength and level. So this is going to be strength, and this is going to be level on the right. So this time I did differentiate the two. So strength and level. Yeah, strength and level. We'll see how well they correlate. Interesting. This is strength, and this is level. And they don't correlate that well, actually. Let's see. Strength, level, 39. So we have Corel, some high. Yeah, so this is not including the mages. This is just the attackers. So 1.3 or about 1, let's say about 1.4 multiplied by your strength minus about 4. Now this is, remember, this is just strength. We got rid of the mages here. So they're all close to the line, but you got some discrepancy. You got some all over the map here, but you have some close and you have some out there. So what do we have? 73, 74%. Not as high as I thought. I actually think this is weaker than with the mages. So strength and level only have like 74% correlation. So that is interesting. It actually dropped. I think it was like 80 something if you include the mages. So this tells me that magic is probably going to correlate very well because with the mages included, it was a lot better. So we took them out. So let's see what happens. I'm kind of curious. So strength and level. Obviously, some start with super high strength, super low level, like 19 strength at level 7, for example. I think that's Zeus right there, 19 right there. That's Gonzalez, 16 strength, level 5. Someone with 17 strength, level 10. Very strong, obviously. So we have like low level. Yeah, very interesting. Let's try magic and level. So yeah, we have to remember. So I did strength and let's see, 19, 14, 11, 20. I want to make sure. Oh, wait. It was strength and HP that correlated very well. Yeah. That's what it was. So magic, skill, speed, luck, defense, resist. Yeah, I think I'm not going to correlate everything. I just want to correlate a few stats just to see if there's like a huge difference, just out of curiosity. So strength and level don't correlate quite that well. Let's see, from 19, 14, 11, 20, and 28, 32. Okay, so I did this right. Okay, now let's try the mages. So we're gonna do magic and level. So this is magic. So this is just the mages, and this is their levels. So yeah, actually there shouldn't be like a huge difference. So yeah, let's calculate that. Interesting. 1.9 multiplied by your magic minus 28 or 29 for your level. It's really interesting how that works. No, wait. Magic level. Wait, did I put in right? Oh, whoops. Oh, that's HP. Whoops. Correlated wrong stuff. Yeah, I have to be careful here. Yeah, okay, that was HP. So I actually correlated HP with level. HP and level with your mages. It's actually really good. No, this is for HP. Yeah, 88% correlate. That's actually really good. So, okay, now we're doing it right. Now, this is, let's see, HP. Gotta fix this. See, I'm confusing myself now. Okay, wait, let's start over. Okay, so copy, magic. Magic is gonna go here. And level is gonna go on the right. There we go. Okay, now I think I set it up right. So level, so this is your magic stat. These are your magic stats. These are your levels. Let's see how well they correlate. Oh, wow, really, really good correlation. Wow, this is very impressive. So 2 times your magic, then subtract about 6. So if you've got about 20 magic, 40, about level 34. Level 14 promoted if you have about 20 magic. So yeah, very, very good correlation, I think. Well, we have a small data sample, so yeah, it seems like it's all over the map. Like, it really does. But our correlation is actually very strong, 94%. This is the strongest relationship yet. So your mages correlate, magic and correlates extremely well with level. Best one yet, 94% correlation between magic and level. Much better than strength and level. So strength and level, there's more discrepancy. You know, because you have some to join with super high strength for a low level. I think it's because you have a lot of hard mode characters that are, and they're all like physical attackers. I mean, they join as enemies, so they get hard mode bonuses. For your mages, you don't have any of those actually. So none of the magic units start off as enemies before they join you, which is pretty interesting. But you have quite a few of the physical attackers that start off as enemy units before they join you. So yeah, level, and so that was magic and level, and we already did strength and level. Now let's try out HP. So we're going to do strength. Yeah, I think it's taking longer because I'm going back and forth between the two. So let's try strength and HP. See how that turns out. So strength on the left, HP on the right. So strength and HP. So let's see, 19, 14, 11, 20. And then 46, 43, 33, 44. Let's see. Am I doing this right? Yeah. So on the left, we have strength. On the right, we have HP. So strength and HP. So this is specifically strength. And this is so just the physical attackers. I expect impressive correlation here. 1.7185, so multiply your strength by about 1.7, add about 12, and that's how much HP you should have. Wow, they're really close to the line. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, you have some bigger residuals here, obviously, like always, but notice this is the red line. And then how much your data actually correlates very well. So strength and HP, impressive correlation. We're talking like 94% correlation. Correlation 94%. Right, that makes sense. So your strength and HP are going to correlate very well. Now, when I'm going to do this again for magic. I don't expect it to correlate very as strongly. It was like 88% when I included everything, but just specifically strength and HP, they correlate very well. So strength and HP correlate very well, and magic and level correlate very well. So it's very interesting that strength goes up with HP and strength go up at the same time, But for magic, it's actually level, so it's more even between the characters. So it's kind of an interesting analysis right there. So we're getting like 94%. So you're really not going to get much better than that. I mean, that's really good. Now let's try magic again. This time we're going to do magic and HP. I expect a much weaker correlation for your mages. We're going to try magic and HP. Magic. And now we're going to do HP. This is HP, right? No, that's level. We already did magic and level. Now we're going to do magic and HP, which is what I accidentally did last time. Magic and HP. Yeah, I'm kind of going through this quicker. But yeah, I'm just kind of interested. Okay, so magic. This is magic. And this is HP. So how well does do magic and HP correlate? So 83% multiplied by your magic plus about 14. That's how much HP you should have. So these are only your mages. Yeah, you have some outliers. Like, I mean, I bet Yodel's always going to be an outlier no matter what. But they're actually closer to the line. It's not too bad. Yeah, 82%, 82.5% correlation, very strong between your magic stat and your HP. So magic and HP still correlate, not as strongly as strength and HP. Strength and HP was like 94%. Magic and HP, it's about 82%. And they also correlate very well with level. Also, strength and level is weaker, but but magic and level is stronger. So anyway, yeah. So basically, just to reiterate, basically what I found looking at all this, but strength and HP, impressive correlation. Magic and yeah. Wait, this is magic. Magic and level, impressive correlation. So magic goes up with level really well, but strength goes up with HP. So level doesn't affect strength as much as you would think. It's like it's in the 80s, whereas with strength and HP, it's like in the 90s. So that's really good. Let's see. So I did strength and magic with HP and level because those are the ones I was most interested in. Like, what would happen if I separated the two? Now, skill and speed, I don't really expect that many differences. The stats are closer together. I mean, obviously, the attackers are going to have better stats than those three. Luck, luck, once again, like, they're about the same, so I don't expect too much difference between skill, speed, and luck. I think defense and resistance might be a little more interesting, but I don't know if I want this video to be, like, too long. I think I've already done quite a few analysis. I analyzed quite a bit already. We can try defense, like strength and defense. So I'm going back and forth here. So yeah, so I'm just kind of experimenting with a bunch of stuff at this point. But strength and defense, I think, will work out quite well. So let's see. Strength and defense, I think, will correlate well. Magic and defense, I don't quite expect it to be that good. So I think I'm gonna stick with strength for now, because if I keep going back and forth, I'm gonna confuse myself. If I keep going back between strength and magic. So let's see. We have strength here. This is strength, and this is defense. Strength and defense. So how well do strength and defense correlate? I expect it to be quite good. 57% multiplied by your strength, 57% of your strength plus about 2. That's the average defense. So they're all pretty close to the line. There's always outliers. Like, who's that? Actually, that's not that much of an outlier. Like 19 strength, 20 defense. Is that Douglas? Does he have 19 strength? Yeah, he has 19 strength, yeah. So I guess that is an outlier because your defense would normally be lower than your strength. So yeah, that does make sense. 22 strength, 10 defense. Really? Somebody has 22 strength and 10 defense. Or is that magic? No, that can't be magic. This is only attackers. 22 strength, 10 defense. Oh, Bartray. Oh, yeah, wow, Bartray. 22 strength, 10 defense. Wow. Yeah, he has a very high strength stat. Remember, bases over growths, right? I mean, with 22 strength, If only his speed was better, he'd be a good unit. Like, well, what is Bartray's speed here? Like, is that like 5? No, that was Barth. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Bartray. Yeah, Bartray joins you a bit later. 10 defense. That's skill. That's 10 speed. That's 10 speed, isn't it? Yeah, 10 speed. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So 19, 20. Yeah, it's basically, but so it's about 77% correlation. 0.77%. So strength and defense correlate well, but there are definitely stronger relationships. Strength and HP correlate much better. Strength and defense still really good, but not quite as good. 77% relationship between strength and defense. Now let's try strength and resistance. So this is just strength and resistance. So strength, wow, lots of zeros for resistance as always. Strength and resistance, so 37% of your strength and then minus like 0.15. So yeah, it's kind of weak. Yeah, 50%. Strength and resistance. So this is just strength. As a reminder, everything's close. We got some all over the map here. 51, 52%, 52%. That's actually better than I thought. I'm quite surprised that higher strength units will have higher resistance, but 52%. So not the best relationship, but better than I expected. I was thinking like 20 or 30. So 52%. But I guess that's mostly from like the level ups. You know, they level up, their resistance is gonna go up, their strength's gonna go up at the same time. So that makes sense. So 52% relationship between strength and resistance, not as good as constitution. Let's try strength and constitution. I mean, I do expect a good relationship here. Right. So I decided to skip skill, speed, and luck. I just figured there isn't as much, you know, I wouldn't expect there to be as much going on with those three, as much of a difference. Whereas for resistance and defense and constitution and movement, you know, I'd expect more. Movement probably not as much, but constitution, I do expect quite a big difference between the mages and the physical attackers. So that was strength. And what are we doing now? Strength and constitution. Yeah, let's see that. So 32% of your strength plus about 5.8. We're really close. 51. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. This is not, the relationship is not as strong as I thought it would be. So around here, all over the map. So you can't tell. It looks like it's good. It looks like it's decent, but here we have like 2 strength, 1 resistance. Yeah, we have 5, but really, like, I'm kind of surprised. I expected like better. Only like 52%. But oh yeah, that makes sense because you have a lot of units that join you later that are stronger, and their constitution isn't necessarily going to increase. So this is like this would make more sense with like average final stats than this is with base stats. So with constitution, you're not going to get a good relationship. But 52%, yeah, I think constitution and defense had like 66%. So with strength, I wouldn't expect it to be as good. So strength and constitution, 52%. Correlation, but that's because constitution doesn't fluctuate. You know, it doesn't level up, so that's why it's so weak. Let's try strength and movement. This is, I mean, like constitution movement. It's more like as a joke usually because there isn't. I don't expect any good results. Strength and movement. So about 4 or 5% of your strength plus 5. Yeah, like, that's pretty much what's always going to happen. You have your knights, 5, 6, 7, 8 movement characters. As always, it's super weak. 21, 22% correlation between your strength and your movement. I think it was better when I had strength and magic. So maybe mages correlate better with movement. Well, I'll find out in a bit. So 22% correlation between strength and movement, obviously not that strong a relationship. So 22% for strength and strength and movement, pretty weak. Yeah. I probably should have just done this with beginning instead of putting strength and magic together, but oh well. It would have taken longer to do all of this. I'm just speeding through it now. All of this is experimental stuff. So I just correlated very quickly. We did strength with HP and level. I did strength with defense, resistance, constitution, movement. I just didn't do skill, speed, and luck. I figured there wasn't as much going on. Now let's try the same thing with the mages. With magic, I already did HP and level, so let's do defense, resistance, constitution, movement. So that shouldn't take us too long. So these are your mages, and we're gonna do constitution and movement. So this is gonna go quicker. Paste. Let's see, does defense... That's defense, right? Defense right there. So we're correlating. We're correlating magic. These are the magic stats with the stat with your defense, right? Is that what we're doing? Defense, yeah. Magic and defense. How well do they correlate? I expect it to be like very, very weak. As you can see, your mages have good magic, but their defenses are like junk. Like they're very, very low defense. Yeah, mages in Fire Emblem 6 are like made out of paper. They bulk up a little more in Fire Emblem 7 and 8, but in 6 they're like made out of paper. Low HP, low defense. 27% of your magic plus 1.2 defense. So very weak. 70. Wow. I'm actually... You know what? It makes sense because your mages earlier in the game are going to be weaker. As you level up, your magic goes up, but your defense goes up as well. So it kind of makes sense. So not as many outliers as you would think, and not a bad relationship actually. Almost like 70%, almost 70% actually, correlation between magic and defense. That's really good. Like strength and defense probably isn't that much better actually. Magic and defense about 70%. Not bad. So now magic and resistance, I expect very good. Except Yodel might throw things off a bit. Yodel and Nime and Yodel might really throw stuff off because 30 resistance, and you only have 11. We only have 11 units on our sample size, so you know when you have a small sample size, small differences can turn into really big things. So 0.94 multiplied by your magic plus 2. So resistance is actually average on average, resistance is higher than magic, but that's because of Yodel and Nime. So they really mess things up. But yeah, I would say mostly Yodel. Yeah. So these are your magic stats. These are your resistance stats. Actually, no. Actually, a lot of characters have higher resistance than magic, so it's not quite as surprising as I would think. Yeah, most of them, like very few, like 13 and 9. I think that's IQ. But a lot of the mages have actually start off with higher resistance than magic. 0.94, so yeah, close to the line. Some differences like, what is that? 1930. Yeah, Yodel, Nime, yeah. 19 magic, 30 resistance. So some are like right on the line. So not too bad. What do we have here? 84%. 84% correlation. That's pretty good. Yeah. 84%. I think with HP, with defense, it was like 70-ish. So yeah, I expect magic and resistance to have better correlation than obviously with defense. So yeah, magic and resistance, 84% correlation. Not bad. So yeah, we're starting to see better correlations now when we separate strength and magic, obviously. We're gonna, it's gonna be a better relationship. Strength, now let's see, what about magic and constitution? This one should be interesting. Once again, it's static, so I expect this not to work out very well. Yodel and Nime are going to throw things way off, as always. 4% of your magic plus about 4.3 for constitution. Wow, so this is very weak. Yeah, very weak relationship. Yeah, all over the map, really. They're just bouncing around here. Look at this. What do we have here? 27%. 27% correlation between magic and constitution. So magic and constitution, extremely weak relationship. I mean, could have been worse. I've seen worse. Like speed and constitution was like very, very weak. So yeah, we still haven't gotten any other negative relationships. So far in all of this, we found 3 inverse relationships only. Usually with speed. No, usually with Constitution. Constitution, I think, had like just about all of them. And finally, we're going to do magic and movement. So that was Constitution. So yeah, your mages have low Constitution. You don't have any huge guys like... Your biggest mage has 7 constitution. So yeah, your mages don't get big generally. Movement, same thing. Their movement's going to be a little lower than others. So magic and movement. Magic and movement, 3% of your magic plus about 5.3 for movement. Wow, look at this. So you have your 5 movement mages. These are the ones that join you early in the game. They're down here. Then you have some 6 movement mages, Nime and Yodel. And then you have a 7 movement mage, Clarine. And then you have your 8 movement mage. That's Cecilia right there, that when she joins you. Yeah. And then there's probably some overlap. There's probably some overlap in here too. Because, I don't think everybody's showing up for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, someone's missing. There should be 11 dots. I only see 10. Yeah, so there's an overlap somewhere. Yeah, it's all over the map. So many outliers. 21% relationship between magic and movement. Obviously, I wouldn't expect it to be very strong at all. So 21% relationship here. So anyway, very weak. I mean, there's all this other stuff we could have looked at, but man, these videos would be super long. They're already really long as it is. So I just kind of sped through this last stuff. I was just curious. I was mostly interested in seeing strength versus HP and level, and magic versus HP and level. These other ones I just kind of threw in quickly just to see what would happen. They didn't really prove as interesting or prove anything new, but I was mostly interested in the HP and level versus strength and magic. Skill, speed, luck just switched. I just figured there wouldn't be anything going on. Defense and resistance, I figured something would happen, and Constitution movement didn't really expect much. Yeah, so this is, I think, there's so much more I could do, but I figure this video is probably already too long. So this will probably end it at part 5. If I do continue this series, I will probably do it with growth rates or an average final stats, and then that should be maybe a little more interesting. We can find higher correlations. You could try this for other games like Fire Emblem 7 and Fire Emblem 8, others. It might be interesting for trying it for like Genealogy, Holy War, and Thracia 776 as well, or the newer games. And then also I'm kind of interested in like creating the average unit, like looking at all the games, seeing like what does the average unit look like? What level do they join at? What kind of stats do they have? Who is the what is the average unit? So yeah, I think maybe you could see the average physical attack or the average mage here. So I might do a video on that. But that's it. So yeah, stay tuned for more random off the wall videos about nerd math stuff. Yeah, so see you next time.